So this is my 2000 Cirrus SR-20, and this is 5 things that I hate about it. I don't really hate much about this plane, but there's a few things that are a little aggravating, and this is them. 5 things I don't like about this Cirrus SR-20, first generation. First thing I don't like is these wheel pants. Now I like the pants overall, but the problem is checking your air and adding air. It has a little plug beside the bolt that you're supposed to remove to add air. However, once you remove it, the hole is still small to get any kind of tire air inflate. The hole is still small for me to get my air chuck into to inflate the tires. So I usually just get the maintenance guys to do it, or I take the cowling, the wheel pant, or I get the maintenance guys to do it, or I take the wheel pants off. That little hole has a plug that pops out, and that's where you get to the valve stem and to add air. The problem is my chuck doesn't fit, so I had to go get another one, and it's a pain in the butt. On later models, they actually added a little access door that you can open a much bigger hole where you can get the air chuck in there easier. It's kind of a minor thing, but for me it's a pain in the butt. For me it's a pain. Kind of a minor thing, but for me it's a pain. The second thing I'm not a fan of is the second thing I'm not a fan of is the Castering nose wheel. I took my flight lessons in a Cessna, and I like being able to steer it. I know a lot of planes now, you just steer with the rudder and differential braking when you're going. But at this airport where I am, where it's kind of on a slope, it's a little difficult because when I'm taxiing the one runway, I'm always adding right rudder and tapping the brake just to keep it straight. It's easy to do. You get used to it. There are just times where I wish I could steer the nose wheel directly. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a pain, but sometimes it would be nice to just actually have a linkage and steer the nose wheel. But it's not going to stop me from flying this plane. I love this plane too much. The third thing I'm not a fan of is the windows. I wish there was some kind of little window where I could open up to get a breeze in flight. Now, yeah, when I'm on the ground, I just pop the doors open just like this and let them be up while I'm taxiing on a hot day. And once you get going, the air coming out of the vents does pretty good. And then, of course, as you climb higher, it's going to get cooler. So that's really not a big thing, but I do wish I had at least a little opening on the window where I could open up instead of opening the doors on a hot day. So the fourth thing I'm not a fan of is these small air inlets on the front. They look kind of big, but they're actually not. And then once you pull the cover off, you can see that there's ductwork and stuff that goes there to the engine to let the air flow, and there's ductwork in there. And the same on this side. I have the first alternators right here too, so it kind of blocks a little bit of the airflow up in there. On really hot days, you got to slow your climb rate and climb out at a faster speed instead of a faster rate to let more air flow through those. Something like a Cessna has much bigger air openings, and even a Piper's I've seen, which you can fly a lot slower and not worry about the temperatures going up. Now on a very hot day, these temperatures are going to go up pretty quick. So all I do is just lower the nose a little bit, increase the speed, and let the air flow through better. But I wish they were a little bit bigger. I'm sure on the newer generations they are, and of course on the 22s that has a bigger engine. But this is a first gen SR-20, and I think they could have made these openings just a little bit bigger. And it's been very hard for me to find 5 things I don't like about this plane, but I guess for the 5th one I could say would be the overall ground clearance on the pants. As you can see, they use these little bitty chocks, and it's just a couple of inches, maybe 3 to the bottom of the pants of clearance. So it's not like I'm going to be landing on much grass with these on. I could take them off, that's no problem. And they help with airspeed and fuel economy, and they look good, but I just wish that I had a little bit more clearance. And the only thing is, as far out as the pants go, as you can see at the back part of them, and then when I go to land or take off, the tail gets pretty low to the ground pretty quick. So unlike some of the planes where you can take off at a pretty steep pitch, this you can't. They kind of take off flat and land kind of flat, or at least at less of a pitch than like a Cessna would. But like I said, this is the 5th thing I should find. I don't really have a problem with the plane. I love this plane. I'd fly it every chance I get. It's very comfortable, very slick, very fast for what it is. Only 200 horsepower. But these are 5 things that I don't like about it. And it was very hard for me to get to these 5 things. I love this plane, I'm not gonna lie. And the newer ones are even nicer, but for me, it's much better than some of the other planes I've seen around here and flown in. It's fast, it can carry a pretty good load, and it's comfortable. Well, these are 5 things I don't like about the plane, and give me any suggestions, comments. Tell me what you like or don't like about an SR-20 first gen. That's what this is. So, thank you.